you know what? Can't say I'm surprised, but considering that it's a new decade, I was at least hoping that we'd start off the new decade with a good movie, but oh well, some things never change. Hey everyone, it's Alexander, the real Mr. Robinson, and this is my review for The Grudge, which is a supposed reboot of the Grudge series, but I also read that it takes place during the events of the 2004 American version and the sequels, so I've not seen the other Grudge movies, so I'm probably not the right person to say whether that's true or not, but if it is, then shit. So this movie follows a police detective who has just recently moved to a new town with her son, and one of her first assignments is to inspect this car crash with a body inside it that looks like it's been in there for a while, and soon she digs deeper into this case and finds out that this, along with several other murders, are connected to this one single house. And it should be noted that this main character is a white person, and it's in the tradition of horror movies that white people can never stay away from a haunted house. I would love for that stereotype to be broken one day as a white person, but then again, there would be no more jokes about it, so So like I said beforehand, I've never seen the Grudge movies. I never even saw the original Japanese version. So the only knowledge I have of this series is that it's similar to The Ring, where it started off in Japan as well, got several other American adaptations, and it seems to focus on this weird, creepy, pale-looking girl. And in The Grudge, it's somebody whose mouth is always open and goes, And even though I haven't watched the other movies, I've seen clips, and the clips that I've seen have those moments where the girl's making that noise, and it's just very unsettling. But that's my knowledge on The Grudge. I might be totally wrong, but considering that there was pretty much a Ring versus The Grudge movie in Japan, first of all, I want to see that movie. Second of all, I might not be too far off from how the series actually is, but again, I don't know anything about these movies. If you've seen these movies, just leave a comment down below to give me more clarification. So with the minimal amount of knowledge I have about those previous movies, I look at this new movie and go, does this even resemble the other movies? I mean, for one, let's just get this out of the way. This is shitty. This is awful, awful, awful. And the reason I say I'm not surprised is because it seems like it's in tradition for a new year to start with an incredibly terrible horror movie, and that's exactly what The Grudge is. There is nothing about it that works. The acting is just atrocious from everyone. There is not one good performance throughout this entire movie until John Cho shows up. Now, I should point out right now that I'd never seen a trailer for this new movie. I didn't even know this movie was coming out until I looked up on Rotten Tomatoes what's coming out this weekend and The Grudge. So when John Cho shows up, I just went, no. And he might be the best actor in the movie. He's bad, but he acts circles around everyone else in this movie. And then also you have Lin Shaye in this movie, who is no stranger to horror movies, and I've met Lin Shaye. She's an incredibly sweet person, and she's probably the second best actor in this movie, but she doesn't have a whole lot to do anyway, and watching her in this movie, it's almost sad, because I've seen her shine in other stuff, and this movie is just doing her no favors at all. The story structure for this is incredibly confusing because it jumps between a 2-year gap. It spends a huge amount of time focused on different characters that you're not really sure who the main character is after a while. And because the movie is so bad in terms of its time jumps, you get lost in terms of where you actually are. Whether it's taking place 2 years ago, a week ago, a year ago, it's just incredibly confusing. And then it's got every cliche you can think of when it comes to these terrible horror reboots or remakes. It's got the jump scares. It's got the scenes of people walking through hallways in the dark. You're just waiting for something to happen, and then again, jump scare. And then the biggest cliche it pulls off is the ending. I want to say that this is a spoiler, but this is more of a PSA than anything, because it ends with the very cliched, oh, we think we beat the demon, but nope, the demon's still around, and then it just ends. Again, you could call spoiler alert all you want, I don't care. It's such a cliche that if you don't see this moment coming when the movie ends, then you clearly haven't seen enough horror movies. The movie ends with the main character just burning down the house, so you think, oh, the evil is done. Everything's gonna be fine. They're gonna live a happily ever after. And then the very next scene, oh no, the demon is still very much around. It takes our main character by the hair, grabs her down the hallway, and then rather than cutting to black like it normally would, it cuts to an exterior shot of the main character's house. No music at all, just the sound of birds chirping in the background. And the entire audience is waiting for something to happen. We're wondering, oh, is she gonna fly out the window? And we're still waiting. We wait for about 5 to 10 seconds. And then credits start rolling as it stays on this exterior shot. And the two girls sitting in front of me said out loud, "What the fuck was that?" And the entire audience burst into laughter. So, yeah, this movie is terrible. And you'd think that with an ending like that, the rest of the movie is unintentionally funny as well. And while there are snippets of that near the end of the movie, it's mostly boring. It is a dull movie to watch, and I almost fell asleep several times. So on that note, I never was angry at the movie because it was so boring, and I'm just gonna say don't waste your money on it. If this is one of those horror movies that was so bad it's hilarious, like The Bye-Bye Man, or even Slender Man, then I'd probably say, yeah, go see it, but don't expect anything good. If you can see this at an Alamo Drafthouse where they serve beer, or any other theater that serves alcohol, then go for it. But unfortunately, I cannot say that at all because the movie is so dull. Now let this be a lesson to everyone. If the first movie of the new year is a horror movie, just don't see it. You know it's going to be terrible, and if it comes from screen gems like The Slender Man, like Resident Evil, like Underworld, then you absolutely know not to go see it, because it's not going to be good. So let that be a fair warning to everyone out there. Let's take that advice under consideration and just say no to early January horror movies. And there you go, that's my review for the 2020 version of The Grudge. And now I want to know what you guys think about the movie. If you've seen it, what did you think? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments below. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, leave a comment, support my Patreon page, follow me on social media, and until next time, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.